So, hey guys, it's your Medio here. So now let's get right into the spoiler review. So if you have seen the movie, good luck because you're here, and now we're getting to watch the spoiler. You get to watch the spoiler review and let me talk about what's gonna happen or what are my thoughts about what happened in the whole movie. So, in the first part, so this is the part that I wanted to talk about most importantly, and that's the part which with the flashback scene. So in the beginning of the film, it's a flashback scene with Dom's father in a race, and it's set in 1989. Now this is very confusing because, uh, Dominic Toretto, the actor. Dominic and Jacob Toretto, the actors who play the young Dominic and young Jacob, uh, they don't look like young. They look a little bit older. I mean, in the film, if you go on the wiki site, Dominic Toretto was born in 1976, and Dominic Toretto was like 13 years old. So he doesn't really look 13 years old, or even Jacob. And Dom said that Jacob was his younger brother, and he doesn't even look like the younger brother. So it got me really confused of like what's the timeline because he would have because Dominic was 13 and he does not look 13 and he didn't and in the film he could drive in this movie, but but he wasn't old enough to drive, and that really got me super confused. I didn't even get that timeline because like isn't if you probably know what I mean. If you go on the wiki, it says 1976. It might be wrong, but it definitely says that on there, and it got me really confused because he was 13 at the time, so he was not old enough to drive or even do this type of stuff. So that got me really confused, and I did not understand that part of the movie. So yeah, that's the first part of the film that really got me confused. And in the film, you get other flashback scenes, and explaining how Dom and Jacob's were brothers, and then all of a sudden they start to have this hate for each other, and in that Jacob was free, and Jacob was basically a was driving, and Dominic got out of prison. How did he get into prison? Well, in the movie, he had a fight with one of the race car drivers that the race car driver was driving with Dom's father, and Dom went to prison, and he then eventually got out of prison, and then he raced his brother, and he says to his brother that like if you win the race, I'll let you I'll let you win. Well, not let you win, but if you win, you could stay, but if you don't win, you got to get the hell out of here because basically in the movie Dom blamed his brother for his dad's death or their dad's death, and in the movie Jacob uh, basically loses the race, and he's never to be seen ever again. That's basically most of the flashback scenes of the movie, and there's a pretty good amount of them, and explains how they hated each other and why did Jacob become super fucking evil. So yeah, that's the first part of that, and mostly the movie it pertains to a device that could basically stop the world or end the world or hurt a lot of people. So Dominic has to stop Jacob's brother, and Jacob in the movie is gonna use that device to hurt a lot of people. And in the movie, Jacob has his own private army, and he's working with this rich guy to end the world. And even Cypher is in the movie, but Cypher is jailed in the movie. So for some reason they don't really explain how she got captured or set in this like cube in the movie. If you've seen the movie, she's just in that cube, and that's it. And that was a very confusing part of the movie. So like they didn't explain how she got there because in the end of the movie she just escaped, and Yeah, and she just eventually got into that cube with the private army and Jacob's private army and the rich asshole in the movie. So yeah, and the rich asshole and the private army want to end the world, and in the movie, this device, which I think I forgot, it was like the Ares. I think that's like what's called in the movie. It's called the Ares that could basically destroy the world. Now it's kind of like that other device they used in Fury 7. I don't remember what that was called, but or God Die. That's the one that also could somewhat end the world. And yeah, they're trying to prevent that from happening, and Dominic has to stop Jacob from doing that. So um, yeah, that's mostly what this is pertaining to in the whole movie is pertaining to. They have to get this device in order is to stop. They have to get this device and in order for the world not to end. And Jacob wants to do that, and his whole private army and all that. What else is in this movie that they pertains? Oh yes, Han is alive. They explain that Han is alive. So they explain in the movie that Han is alive, and he is in the movie. Managed to survive, and in that they explain how like he survived that whole crash. But before that, he worked with Mr. Nobody, and Mr. Nobody said that he worked with Giselle, and Giselle was somewhat of a CIA operative. So they worked together, and they did some drug smuggling back in like somewhere in South America, and in that, Mr. Mr. Nobody gave a deal to Han and to do some spy work. So Han went to the person's house, and that person had a little girl who grew up to be Han's adoptive daughter. And in the movie, the girl's parents had that device, but then her parents died when they got from an explosion, and when they got into the, if you see the movie, they died in an explosion. The car exploded and they died, and and the girl in the movie went inside the house, and what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, she was gonna get her raincoat and she was gonna get out of here, but then the thieves or somewhat the private army was gonna get in and get the device. So Han manages to save the girl and stop the bad guys, and then the rest of the story goes like, he manages to people to think that he died in the crash, but he didn't die in the crash because he was trained or somewhat trained by Mr. Nobody, to get out of that like situation, to not be a part of it, to use it as a disguise or whatever for him to manage to survive that. So yeah, and that's basically that. That's how he manages to survive. That's the best I can explain it. I might have not explained it in the best way possible, but if you've seen the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. So yeah, that's that, and that's how he survived. And I got a little bit confused, a little bit here and there, but if I see the movie again, then I'll know. Then I'll probably understand how I might have missed something there, but but he managed to survive that, and he managed to meet a girl in this movie. So yeah, so what else is there to see in this? Well, oh yeah, they go to space. Tej and Roman, they both go to space in this movie. Now, they do go to space, and it is finally true. A meme that's been for 7 years is finally here, and yeah, so they go to space and they have to stop this satellite, and in that they basically try to stop this satellite. So in order for because they implanted the Ares device into some thing, and they transfer it to the satellite, so it could destroy the whole planet, or somehow destroy the whole planet. And eventually, Tej and Roman, they crash into the satellite and they destroy it. And the thing is, their magnet thing did not work, so they just crashed into it. And yeah, that's basically it for that. And then they managed to survive in this movie. Um, and yeah, and then they ended off with the barbecue scene, and the whole gang's here. Even the ones from the Tokyo Drift movies are here, and Han's here. Everybody's here, and at the end, is Brian in this movie is going to the barbecue, but you don't get to see him because he's in that car, a blue car. So yeah, that's the best I can explain about the whole spoilers of the movie. So yeah, and that's really about it. Oh yeah, and the post credit scene. So the post credit scene has to do with Deckard Shaw, and in that, there he infiltrates or confronts this guy in a beanbag, and he hears a knock on the door, and it's from Han, and Deckard Shaw is pretty confused. So yeah, so there you have it. That's really it. I mean, I also wanted to say that in the film, Jacob, he basically, his private army and the rich dude, they turn against him, and he's eventually the good guy, and he somewhat stops the big dude of the private army, and private army is stopped, and yeah, and also that's really bad. And also Dom and Jacob, they don't really have like a big fight. They only had one fight in the movie, and that's really about it. But most of it was just driving. So yeah, in the movie. So yeah, but I mean, yeah, that's really about it for my spoiler review, and that's really about it. I mean, right now, just after looking at these spoilers and thinking about them, I feel like I might want to change my score right now, because I want to drop it to 1 point or one rating less. So I want to put it up to like, I'm gonna give this a C plus, to be honest with you. Now I still enjoyed it. I had fun. It's stupid. It's ridiculous, but I'm gonna give Fast and Furious 9 a C plus. Like, I feel like right now, like looking at the spoilers and thinking about the spoilers in my head, honestly, I feel like there should have been. I feel like there should have been an epic fight with John Cena in this, and also, like, I feel like I had a little bit confusion with how Han came back or whatever, but he eventually came back. So yeah, and what else did I have? What was I really confused by? So yeah, I mean, I guess that, and the whole timeline, flashback scenes got me really confused. So that really, like, those are just basically the little, like, nitpickings of the film, and those are honest nitpickings, because that's just my whole opinion about that. But now I want to switch this to a 7.5. Like, I still enjoyed it, and I had fun with it. It's definitely not my favorite. I do prefer Fast 7. That just looking at it right now with the whole spoilers, I just feel like in my opinion, this there is like more problems that I for somehow like didn't realize until now. And yeah, honestly, I had fun. It's not my. It's honestly, I just didn't feel like it was my favorite, and Fast 7 is the best one. So honestly, I'm looking forward to the rest of the Fast and Furious films, Fast 10 and 11, which I hope they call Fast X or Fast. Either probably gonna be FX or Fast X or Fast 11, Roman numeral. So yeah, I mean, that's honestly really that's really about it. I'm still looking forward to the rest of the franchise, and I hope Dwayne Johnson and who else in this? Oh yeah, what's fuck, Jason Statham come back and something to do with the rest of the franchise. So yeah, I did enjoy it, but just now I'm feeling myself that there is more problems that I first somehow didn't talk about in my regular review, and now looking back at it, it's like I there is more problems that I now realize to now. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and peace.